That's what video does. It gives the most amount of information in the shortest amount of time. That's what people want. That's what Google wants for their customers. So if you had video in your SEO strategy, what it will do is increase dwell time, which is a key factor for Google. Because when somebody goes and does a search, they go to your website, they don't bounce and go back to Google. They stay on your website, and that triggers Google to say, wow, this page was valuable because somebody's watching a video.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Robert Weiss, president at MultiVision Digital. Robert, how are you today?
I'm excellent. Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show today.
My pleasure. Thank you for spending some time with us on Business Ninjas. Please tell us a bit about yourself and about MultiVision Digital.
Well, the short answer is video, 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 video. That's what we do here. As far as positioning the company, I've never led with that. I've always led with, we're a digital marketing agency that specializes in sales and marketing content that happens to be video. And rather than being a video production company, words have meanings. So we've always approached video from a sales and marketing perspective and creating the content for those sales and marketing objectives that happens to be video. It's a very, very different approach from those companies that are out there that are, they went to school for video production. They want to produce video. And that's kind of some of the myths that are out there, that you don't need to produce video like large productions all the time. You can create meaningful, cost-effective, but yet professional sales and marketing content that happens to be video that moves the needle. And when you do that, what happens is organizations tend to invest in video multiple times a year because all marketers are creating content for different sales and marketing objectives.
Absolutely. Hey, we preach that kind of stuff around here. We need connective tissue in sales and marketing, and video is the answer here in the 21st century.
Yeah.
What's your background? How did you come to be president of MultiVision Digital?
I guess I bought my way into the job by starting the company.
That's job security, right?
Yes, exactly. I'm not sure about that as an entrepreneur. Sometimes you don't have it. But I saw the writing on the wall. So my background is in sales and marketing. I'm not a video guy, as many people who started a video company are. They went to school for video. They did video. They love video. For me, I saw the writing on the wall from a digital marketing standpoint. Started selling websites and front ends and back ends, databases, before there was product out there to purchase, like software as a service. And then I got into CRM when, again, before this SAS, software as a service, was even coined. I was selling that from a CRM standpoint. And we were doing email marketing, we were doing pearls, we were doing SEO. And after leaving that organization, I got into email marketing. So I've always sold digital marketing tactics that were on the early adoption scale, but then today are highly accepted as, of course you do that. There's no question that we have websites, that we use email marketing, that we have CRMs. There's no discussion. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the trajectory of where video still is, but back 15 years ago when I started, it was very early on the adoption scale. And so now I still think it's somewhat early on in the adoption scale, partially because everybody thinks they can produce video with the thing in their pocket or on Zoom, which may or may not be of good quality, but they think they could do it. And just like people got websites, their first website, they typically didn't know the value of it. So they looked at the dollar and they just basically invested as little as they could just to do something. And then they said, well, wow, this could be a competitive differentiator. I really need to do this well. And that's when you started to see, some of the larger investments, or we'll call it the meaningful investments in websites. And not just to create the website itself, but then to market that website. So that's the reason why I started the companies, because I saw that trajectory happening. And to date, has been what is happening. And I still think it is still happening.
And that's about 15 years you've been in business now?
Yeah, 15 years now.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. That's some legs in this industry, right?
Yeah, and I think we've got the old Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours, because we've done about 1,600 videos. And if you do the math, and we've done, those videos have been small videos, big videos, talking head, on location, motion graphics, animations, 3D, not 3D. There's so many different skill sets that we've brought to the table, and so many different business objectives that we've applied video to, that we really do have a very broad skill set and put the 10,000 hours in.
Well, hey, that makes sense to me. Having an outside perspective in your industry, that means you're not exclusively video producers. You're coming at it from the sales and marketing perspective. The video is a tool, as opposed to some exclusively video companies where there you're relying upon the client's intent and understanding of what they're trying to accomplish to get it done. So I appreciate your perspective in the space.
Yeah, I have these conversations all the time, and it's all about the strategy. It's all about the business objectives. And secondly, it's about the distribution channels that organization has. And then it becomes the content. Does that idea that you have align with the strategy and the distribution channels that you have? And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And this happens all the time when I start talking with clients. Even this morning, I talked to somebody who wanted to do a book video to promote their book. Well, what she really wanted is a sales video to get investment to turn the book into a movie. So in her, the information that she filled out on the website form, she said, I want to produce a video of a scene from the book. That was what she said. Well, if you were selling to consumers to buy the book, that might be appropriate. But what she really wanted is to communicate why the content in her book is relevant in today's society, and why somebody should take the time to consider investing in this and even turning this into a movie. That was her. And she was like, yeah. So I have these strategy conversations all the time with people.
Hey, we preach intentionality. If you're not clear on what you're trying to accomplish and who you're trying to reach, the greatest content in the world gathers dust, right? So that's an important perspective. What verticals are you servicing? Who are your clients? What sort of industries flock to MultiVision Digital?
So I'm going to answer this twofold, because we do a lot of SEO. You're a big supporter of SEO and content marketing. So we have a lot of leads that come into us. And from that perspective, it is people that understand that video is important, that they've appropriated an appropriate level of budget to that, to do something of quality. It doesn't need to be, like Avatar type of, production, but it needs to be something of quality. So that's the first answer, is somebody that understands that video is important and they need professional help with that. And professional help means above the cameras and equipment that most people think, right? It's the before and after. And the second answer to that question is law firms and accounting firms and manufacturing firms. So we spend a lot of time, money, and effort writing for legal and writing for manufacturing, and then going out to trade shows and to networking events that have legal marketers or accounting marketers. That could be small firms, mid-sized firms, or the big guys, because at the end of the day, it's humans, the professionals, that are the quote unquote product, right? So what better way to showcase the know, like, and trust factor and the personality of that product than with video? And that's the reason why every law firm, every accounting firm has bio pictures, because you make that connection. Well, the next step is not just one video, but many videos. And then manufacturing, because I mean, that's just manufacturing stuff is cool and it's fun. And we like stuff that's cool and fun. So why would you not?
Other than, helping, let's say, mold and shape their perspective on what they're trying to accomplish, what are the most common problems you're solving for your clients?
I guess communication, streamlining communication and informing and educating people. And people, buyers need to have that happen before they enter into or go through a sales process. That's what video does. It gives the most amount of information in the shortest amount of time. That's what people want. That's what Google wants for their customers. So if you had video in your SEO strategy, what it will do is increase dwell time, which is a key factor for Google. Because when somebody goes and does a search, they go to your website, they don't bounce and go back to Google. They stay on your website, and that triggers Google to say, wow, this page was valuable because somebody's watching a video. And then they typically will watch another one, assuming that you have it. So yeah, so like everybody wants that, and that's what video does. And I'll give you another example, because many companies use the channel, like channel partners, channel communication, or they sell big enterprise deals. So the analogy here is kind of the same. Whereas that company never really has the opportunity to talk to a decision maker, and there's an intermediary. Through the channel, you have distributors, you have wholesalers, and then big enterprise deals, you tend to have like a decision-making team, and one person gets up and pitches you to everybody. Well, in both of those use cases, that intermediary doesn't really know. They know your product, they know your service, but they can't really communicate it well and succinctly. So by empowering them with a video, they don't need to do that. Like, you are talking directly to the decision makers in the way that you want to, with your value props all the time, and also showing them your facility, the product, the people. You tell me which one's better, getting somebody to stand up and pitch you, or just having them shut up and you doing it.
Absolutely. Hey, you speak our language in spades. There's no question about it. What differentiates you in the market? What makes you stand out from your competitors?
I think our approach, like in the very beginning, we're not video people. We are digital marketers that create sales and marketing content that happen to be video. And that's the approach. I wanted my clients to get multiple videos out of any investment. I want them to come back to me twice a year, 3 times a year, once a year, whatever that means for that. Because every company's cadence and, of course, size and budget is going to be different. But they shouldn't get into a point where they are doing video once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year. And that means that they should also probably be doing video in-house by themselves. And we, by working with us, will help them understand how to do that. So again, content. Video is just content. And how do you make that mix and aligned video? This is another differentiator. We're always talking about integrating, right? Big thing we say a lot is when you first start thinking about video, the best thing to do is to forget about video. Business objectives. Are you launching a product? Is it SEO? Is it social? Are you training through the channel, not through the channel? Like, all these different things will determine the type of video content that you get and what you do.
Again, perspective is everything. Absolutely. Switch gears a little bit. Tell me about the challenges and opportunities of growing a business like yours through COVID.
Our business is we have to be on location to shoot a facility. So right then and there was none of that. We created a product called remote video capture, which basically uses smartphones to record up to 4K. And it's, again, the professional services of video is still applied here. So people that do video or have done video, they know that there's a big professional services component to prepping, to being on location with somebody, whether it's remote or physically there. The coaching and directing, helping them to get their on-camera presence, helping them to frame the sets. Before we got on the call here, I had like a little charger right here. Like those are things that it's the little things about video that make a big difference. And those are the videos that everybody likes because they're clean, they're professional, they're well. And whether it's on location or remote, that's what we do. So we did a lot of that, and we still do that, not as much as we did before. But that was it was a challenging time. Obviously we rebounded from that, but here we are.
I'm assuming post-COVID that more companies than ever are looking for video content because people aren't across the desk as much as they used to be, and they need that connectivity. They need that human fiber to sell their services and their products.
Yes. Yep. Correct. Yeah. As far as my market goes, it's macroeconomics. I mean, the market is expanding right now. So I think within the last year, I've seen a downward pressure on pricing because of the amount of competition that's out there. At the same time, I think that's going to rebound in the next couple of years because some of those companies are going to go out of business because it's just not sustainable.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? As we're all carrying little supercomputers in our pocket that have digital stabilization and super slow-mo and 4K, people do think they can do these things themselves, but it is that perspective, that sales and marketing intentionality that's missing in their approach. And it ends up on the screen, unfortunately.
Yeah. So a trade show last week, and somebody said, in response to what I was talking, he said, well, kind of like video is the new sales brochure. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to use that. And it really is. But I would just double down on that and say, maybe it's not one video. Maybe it's a series of videos. Because once somebody understands high level, that sales brochure, they have different follow-up questions that they would typically ask somebody. So if you can think ahead by putting that one high level, we'll call it product overview, service overview together, and then start to answer the 3 or 4 common questions that most people have, this whole package, if you will, becomes the brochure. And if you think about it, the brochure probably has multiple sections anyway that does this, right? But now these are individual videos that, P.S., somebody might be searching these individual videos and enter this way or enter this way. Or after a trade show or a sales call, you can send all of these, or maybe this many, or maybe that many, depending on the use cases of that company. So video is very pliable, trackable. It's something that people will watch before they read. And these are all reasons, and probably a few more, why video is so effective.
Yeah, I think of short form video as the flypaper that will draw people to your longer form content. If you capture them and you provide value quickly in those high level videos, they're far more likely to dig deeper in and, peel your company's onion and see what you're really about. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Look down the road a year from now. What are some things you'd like to be celebrating personally and professionally?
Oh, a year from now, hopefully my daughter will have a job. She's a senior in college right now, or in medical school. She's not sure exactly what she wants to do. So whether it's one or the other, I'm happy to do with that. My son will still be in school at that time. So nothing, so dramatic as that for him. And, myself, I would like to have a couple deals in for a new brand that we have called MultiVision Creative, which is higher end production. So my company right now is MultiVision Digital, predominantly B2B, and MultiVision Creative is a little bit more narrative, movies, commercials, like higher end production. So people come to me and say, well, how much does a video cost? All right, well, depends, right?
Yeah.
So I can give you a 30-second video, which may or may not communicate what you want, because it's probably hard for you to explain something in 30 seconds. But that doesn't mean it's going to be cheap just because it's 30 seconds. Like commercials are $250,000 and they're 30 seconds. It's actually harder to produce a 30-second spot than it is a minute spot or a minute video because you just have more time. So anyway, so MultiVision Creative is bigger budget stuff, and I'll still have MultiVision Digital there. But somebody who wants the creative stuff will go to MultiVision Digital and be like, it's not really for me, and vice versa. So I'll have 2 different brands that fit 2 different markets. So we've over the last 5 years or so, we've got a portfolio now to fit MultiVision Creative. And then my time will probably be spent more on MultiVision Creative. And I'm hoping to have one or two salespeople really dig into MultiVision Digital, because with law firms and manufacturing firms, we've developed a presence there in the market that is starting to become mature. It's not quite there yet because the buyers are not quite there yet, but it's starting to become mature. So that business from a lead flow sales standpoint should start to, function by itself, quote unquote.
Yeah. Excellent.
It needs to be farmed, not planted.
Well, hey, people need to know that they need the service before they seek the service out. So it's a little bit of a slippery slope on the
anything. Yes.
Of course. But then the early adopters have such success that theoretically people are beating down your doors shortly thereafter, right? One would hope.
One would hope. That's the plan.
That's the plan. Gotcha. Well, please tell us, what's your URL? Where can people find MultiVision Digital? And what social media outlets are you using these days as well?
MultiVisionDigital.com. Simple as that. We use LinkedIn a lot, so we're there. And we use YouTube. We don't really do Facebook or Twitter. Instagram here and there. But obviously, we're a video production company, so we want to be on YouTube and understand behind the scenes of YouTube as well. How that works.
Sure.
The placements and how to advertise and the SEO of YouTube, and of course, LinkedIn, because that's where our B2B customers are.
Gotcha. Robert Weiss at MultiVision Digital, thank you for spending some time with us on Business Ninjas. All the best to you and yours, and continued success and growth at MultiVision Digital and Creative.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Be well.